Yveltal. It has a type advantage. There's not really a whole lot Yveltal can do. But on the other hand, Zach does have Crobat, which is certainly good against Xerneas, and as well as Groudon. So
right,
should be an interesting match.
We've seen Alberto's Crobat with a lot of cool techs. You know, Haze is a great move that I haven't seen since Red, Blue, Yellow. And now it's back to, you know, kind of negate those boosts from Geomancy. And I really enjoy seeing Haze.
Me too. It's a way to kind of put Xerneas in its place. It thinks it's been set up so well with Geomancy. It's doubled its special attack, special defense speed. So I love Haze. I love Red Card too, which is kind of broken out very recently that players have started using that.
Right, and I think that's actually pretty cool tech that a lot of players are preparing for the Xerneas matchup.
Right, because Xerneas can just sweep teams so easily if you're not careful.
And the players are ready to go underway right now. This is an exciting matchup. Both these players can easily also make the top cut.
They definitely can. And they've got such similar teams here too. Although despite the Xerneas and Yveltal, the rest of their team is very similar. So I'm excited to see the kind of predictions that come out this match, because that's probably what's going to decide it.
Oh yeah. Zach gonna go ahead and lead Groudon and Crobat. Alberto on the other side gonna be going with the Salamence and Smeargle. So interesting leads from both players. Salamence and Smeargle is something that I saw a lot of in the Aaron trailer match between in the Aaron trailer match.
Yep, Smeargle is, if you leave Smeargle unchecked, it can just single-handedly win a game. But luckily, Zach led with Crobat, which counters Smeargle very well. If it's got the Lumberry, it doesn't have to worry about Dark Void. Salamence won't be able to knock it out in one hit, so it can certainly get a taunt off. It can't be faked out by Smeargle. Groudon, on the other hand, may be slower than Smeargle, although we did see Alberto's match earlier, so we know it is a slower Smeargle. But again, we don't know how Zach trained his Groudon.
Right, no, absolutely. And we do see Salamence Mega Evolve right now. And Smeargle goes for the wide guard right off the bat.
Oh, look at that reaction from Zach. That doesn't look good.
Zach does not look happy as Crobat on Zach's side goes for a Tailwind right here. Gonna go ahead and give a support to the Groudon and Crobat. The entire team's gonna be doubled in speed, as Salamence also goes for a Tailwind too. So gonna match Tailwinds right there, and Groudon goes for an Eruption. That's not gonna do anything because of the wide guard.
Nope, great play by Alberto though. Wide guarding there. It's not something you would think to do, because Salamence resists Eruption, it's immune to Precipice Blades. You'd think maybe it would just go for a Fire Punch or an Earth Power on Smeargle, but Zach maybe getting a little greedy there, trying to get some extra damage on that Salamence, and now his entire turn is neutralized by Alberto's Tailwind and then completely negated by Smeargle's Wide Guard.
Right, and that was a good play right there from Alberto. I mean, he kind of came out on top of that one. Or, I mean, it's
at the end of the day, it's a dead turn because they both got Tailwind and nothing happened.
But it could have been a lot different for Alberto.
Right. Especially if Zach went for more of a single target move, he could have knocked Smeargle down very low.
Right.
And that just could have, like, taking out a Smeargle that easily can certainly swing the match in your favor.
I mean, a Fire Punch and a Burn could have easily knocked out that Smeargle, it's right. We do see Crobat now go for the Super Fang onto the Smeargle, gonna bring it down 50%, as Smeargle goes for a Dark Void, gonna go ahead and outspeed that Groudon and put both Pokemon to sleep. Groudon's gonna go ahead and take that nap. Crobat is gonna go ahead and fall asleep too. Does it have the Lumberry? It does have the Lumberry, and it's not gonna be sleeping this turn, so yeah. Good. As we see the Hyper Voice from Salamence connect on Crobat and Groudon.
A really interesting turn there. Oh, let's see, Moody. This is always
Special
important.
attack.
No, not too important.
Special defense,
yeah,
not important at all.
Not important at all. Zach did seem a little distraught after that turn. Going for the Super Fang on Smeargle. I'm sure he was expecting to get an attack off with Groudon there. But he didn't. He got put to sleep first, and maybe a taunt would have been better there that turn, but I'm sure that's knowledge he can take into games 2 and 3, knowing the speed of Smeargle compared to Groudon.
And, you know, Smeargle is just hard to deal with. It does a lot of work just by being on the field. We see Smeargle now go for a Crafty Shield here, not going to want to get taunted, going to protect his team from, like, non-damaging attacks. As we see the Super Fang connect onto the Salamence, going to bring it down to 50% as well. Salamence now with the Hyper Voice is going to connect on both Groudon and Crobat. Both Pokemon hang on as Groudon continues to go to sleep. Unfortunate that he cannot wake up, as we see Smeargle now with the Moody. Special defense is going to rise sharply, and the accuracy fell, so Dark Void's a little bit less of a threat, but it can still hit.
Yeah, and Salamence is so fast. Crobat already Super Fanging both. It's not like there's a whole lot more it can do. Tailwind's already up. Taunt Smeargle might already want to switch out since it got that accuracy drop, or maybe it just crafty shields again. So neither Crobat or Groudon will really be able to do anything here, so it's a really good situation for Alberto. Maybe he wants to take this turn to switch Smeargle out, knowing that Salamence will get a double KO, but I think Zach, he's a veteran player. I think he might expect that and go for a Super Fang in the Smeargle slot just to punish something like that, but nope. Doesn't happen.
We do see Groudon try to protect there, but it's still going to continue to sleep as Crobat goes for the Super Fang directed towards that Smeargle regardless because of the Follow Me, and it looks like Salamence is going to be able to pick up the double KO with his Hyper Voice right here. Groudon and Crobat both get knocked out. Huge turn right there from Alberto. Unfortunately, Zach's Groudon could not wake up to protect itself that turn.
Right. But I think Zach, we'll never know because that Smeargle went for the Follow Me, but I'm sure Zach was going for a Super Fang there, knowing that Smeargle...
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Evasiveness rises sharply. That means that Smeargle now is going to be difficult to hit. It can just easily follow me away many things and just dodge it.
Yeah, we go from thinking maybe Smeargle should switch out there because of that accuracy drop, but now maybe it should just stay in and take use of that evasive boost.
We do see Kangaskhan now switch in and Yveltal. That's not bad. I don't mind that. Good position right now for Zach.
Yeah, but at the same time, he just lost Groudon and Crobat. You have to imagine Alberto has Xerneas in the back.
Right.
If so, this match is over if he takes care of Kangaskhan.
Yeah, and you know, one option that he does is maybe hit Xerneas as it... Nah, I guess
he shouldn't even. Yeah, he shouldn't even risk Geomancing or even switching it in.
Just go for the Moonblast.
Right.
We do see Kangaskhan now Mega Evolve, gonna go for the Fake Out, targeting down that Salamence, gonna connect. Salamence is not gonna be able to move. It is gonna flinch here, as Smeargle from Smeargle just goes for a Dark Void again, hits and connects with some Pokemon. We'll see. Oh, Kangaskhan avoids it, but Yveltal does go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe not the one that Alberto was hoping, but hey, its accuracy is down. You take what you can get here. Because you definitely want to knock out that Kangaskhan, assuming he has Xerneas in the back. I'm confident that he does, but Alberto's the only one who knows that.
Right, and right now, you know, with Yveltal sleeping, that was his chance to kind of pick up some KOs. I personally would have preferred to see the Kangaskhan hit that Smeargle with the Fake Out instead.
Yeah, but I think at this position, Zach knows there's very few ways he can win. He's got to bank on Dark Void missing. That's really his only hope. And that's, I imagine, what he was thinking when he went after the Salamence.
And we do see another Dark Void from Smeargle, going to connect onto the Kangaskhan, and now Kangaskhan and Yveltal are sleeping. Yveltal's already asleep, so that's not going to affect it at least. And we do see Salamence go for a Tailwind here, going to boost the speed again. Kangaskhan now not going to be able to move this turn, going to take its first turn of sleep right there. As Smeargle's Moody activates again, and the Evasive rises again as the Special Defense falls, so this Smeargle is going to be impossible to touch.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to knock it out, but at the same time, it's not really doing a whole lot here. Zach still hasn't taken any damage on either of his Pokemon, but at the same time, Kangaskhan's freshly put to sleep. That's going to be the big threat here that Alberto needs to take care of.
And we see the Follow Me here. Yveltal goes for the Wake Up and goes for the Sucker Punch, but unfortunately, Smeargle just redirects that as Salamence goes for a Hyper Voice here and connects. Kangaskhan goes for a Power Up Punch. Smeargle dodges the attack. And Smeargle again, Moody, Special Defense rises, and we do see the attack drop, but man, that's an unfortunate turn for Zach.
Yeah, it really is. He was fortunate with both wake-ups, but then he just missed,
well,
so...
he still does have the accuracy drop on Smeargle,
That's
so maybe the Dark
way
Void
of
will
looking
miss.
at it, yeah.
As we see Smeargle again go for a Follow Me here with 4 stages of increased evasiveness. It probably won't even connect. We see Salamence now go for the Double Edge onto the Kangaskhan. Does get the KO right there on Kangaskhan, and that will probably do it. I mean, Salamence almost gets KO'd by its own recoil as Yveltal goes for a foul play here onto that Smeargle with all those boosts. Doesn't do any damage at all.
Yeah, remember, Smeargle was lowering its attack with Moody, and it doesn't even have a high attack to begin with, so...
And the evasiveness goes to 6 stages of increased evasiveness. You know, Smeargle not going to be able to be touched. I'm actually surprised that that foul play even connected, and that should do it for Game 1 here in round 6.
Well, that's certainly good for Alberto, not only winning, but he didn't even have to reveal any Pokemon in the back. I mean, I'm sure you assume Groudon and Xerneas were the 2 he chose, but hey, keeping information hidden, it's certainly helpful.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think right now, I mean, I think there's nothing that Zach can do.
And it looked like Zach just forfeit. It looks like we're just waiting on Alberto.
Go back to the drawing board, and you know, now it's time for Zach to make those adjustments that he needs to make. Clearly, Smeargle needs to deal with Smeargle a lot
He needs to deal with Smeargle, but at the same time, he needs to keep Crobat and Groudon healthy to deal with the Xerneas in the back, because that situation he got put in at the end of the game, assuming Alberto had Xerneas in the back, he just would have cleaned up at the end as soon as he took care of the Kangaskhan. So I think preserve Groudon better, and maybe should have gone for the taunt on that Smeargle rather than the Super Fang.
No, absolutely.
But I'm sure Zach, he was probably caught off guard there. I'm sure he was expecting a different outcome based on his reaction there. I think he expected Groudon to get an attack off before Smeargle moved. So I'm sure in Game 2 he'll adapt and maybe play a little differently.
Yeah, and going into, it's all about making adjustments. I'm sure Zach has something in the back of his head. In the past, we've seen a lot of players, they don't do so well Game 1, and then Game 2 they make a great adjustment, and then Game 3 comes down to both players making those adjustments.
Yeah, but I think Alberto, he doesn't have to change anything, I don't think. I mean,
if it's not,
he stuck
if it worked,
he
right?
stuck with just Salamence, and Smeargle didn't even need any other Pokemon to win that match. So if you're Alberto, you're happy. You just go with the same 4 that you just went with. Maybe Smeargle, you can switch it up. But at the same time, why risk it? This is Game 2. You're up 1-0. Make Zach prove that he can counter your team, because you do have the natural advantage by having a Xerneas versus an Evoltal. So make Zach prove that he can beat you first, then maybe look to switch it up if you're Alberto.
That's always so intimidating when you cannot see the last Pokemon that your opponent has in a best 2 out of 3, because you don't know what adjustments you need to make. Like, you can make adjustments for the leads, but you can't go beyond that, right?
Now, you can assume that he brought both Restricteds in the back, but you don't know that.
Right, no, for sure. And that's such a tough call right there, and Zach is playing from super behind. We do see Salamence and Crobat out for Alberto's side. Smeargle and Kangaskhan going to be out for Zach's side, and that's...
This is really good for Alberto because he's got that Crobat. It's immune to Fake Out from Kangaskhan, and it can certainly taunt the Smeargle, and it has Lumberry just in case anything goes wrong. So I like this matchup for Alberto. Of course, the Intimidate neutralizes Kangaskhan a lot more, so I don't think Zach is too happy to see this lead. But at the same time, maybe he can make some kind of prediction here, get a free power-up punch, maybe. But again, he's not really in the greatest situation to do that. I imagine Alberto will try and set up a Tailwind here with at least one of these two. Probably the Salamence, because I'm sure he wants to get a taunt on that Smeargle with the Crobat.
Right.
And I don't think Salamence really needs to attack now. I think it can spend this turn getting a Tailwind up simply because of that Intimidate. But
we do see Salamence protect, not going to Mega Evolve either, going to save that Intimidate for later. Smeargle going to outspeed that Crobat, carrying that Choice Scarf, going to go ahead and put Crobat to sleep. Salamence is protecting itself, and Crobat does go to sleep, but we do know that Alberto's has the Lumberry. That's going to wake it up, and now is it going to go for Tailwind, or, yeah, it goes for the Tailwind right now. Okay.
Yep. So now we'll be faster than the Smeargle, and he can get a free taunt off on it.
And now Kangaskhan goes for a power-up punch onto the Crobat here. Not going to do much damage at all. It is 4 times resisted, but the fact now is that Kangaskhan is going to be at 1 stage of increased attack after that Intimidate.
Right, so it's not as much as you would hope, but it's still enough to pick up a bunch of KOs. Maybe not on something really bulky like a Groudon, but it'll still deal a whole lot of damage. So things could have been worse for Zach, but at the same time, he's got a Smeargle in. It's locked into Dark Void, and you assume this Crobat's going to taunt it. But you might just have to just Dark Void and take that taunt and see if you can get some damage off with Kangaskhan onto that Crobat. Maybe the Salamence, since it just protected last turn, so it's not able to protect this turn. And maybe just make Crobat taunt you.
We do see Salamence Mega Evolve now, as Crobat does have to go for the taunt here, does not want any of his Pokemon to be put to sleep, putting the team on his back, as Salamence goes for a Hyper Void, is going to connect onto the Smeargle and the Kangaskhan, as Kangaskhan now gets to go for the double edge here. Going to go ahead and target down the Salamence, going to do a massive amount of damage. Might not even pick up the KO on Salamence. Salamence hangs on with just a sliver of health. A lot of damage is done back to the recoil. And now, wow, that is a bulky Salamence.
Yeah, well, Mega Salamence has a really high defense stat, and it's really showing it there, especially the Intimidate. That really came in clutch for Alberto here.
Yeah, no, for sure, Ray. And now Smeargle kind of has to switch out. If it's lucky, it can struggle and possibly hit the Salamence. I don't know, but the Tailwind's still up. Right,
I think since your Choice Scarf, I think you do switch Smeargle out and try and save it for later. Sure, it would be nice to go for a struggle here and knock out the Salamence, but Tailwind's up and you'll likely just get knocked out before that. Unless Kangaskhan goes for a Sucker Punch on the Salamence, but then why even stay in and struggle? So might as well take this opportunity to switch out. You know you're going to likely get Super Fanged in that slot by Crobat, because I'm sure Alberto knows Smeargle's going to switch out. I think Yveltal is a good choice here, knowing that Alberto has Xerneas. Let it take the damage because Xerneas would knock it out in one hit anyway.
And we do see Kangaskhan switch out now. I thought it was in pretty good position, but going to go ahead and switch into Groudon here. Going to go ahead and revert back to its primal form once it hits the field, thanks to that red orb that it carries. And that's an interesting switch right there from Zach. I don't know how I feel about that one.
It really is, because Sucker Punch, assuming he has it, threatens the KO on the Salamence, and Crobat it's never going to have a move to knock you out. It'll only be able to Super Fang. So I think Kangaskhan was actually in a perfectly fine position there, despite like Tailwind being up and everything.
And we do see the Super Fang connect on the Yveltal. Good call right there, Ray. As Salamence goes for a Hyper Voice right here, Groudon's going to take a lot of damage right here, and Yveltal barely hangs on. I think Groudon should be able to survive one more Hyper Voice, but oh boy.
I think maybe Zach was scared of a Quick Guard there from Crobat. Maybe that's why he decided to switch Kangaskhan out. But who knows?
That's one great thing about Crobat. It's the fact that this Crobat could do anything. It could haze,
right, but
Super Fang.
That's kind of why information is so important. Zach doesn't know if he has Quick Guard or not.
Right, this is the first time he's seen it. We do see Crobat now go for a taunt onto the Yveltal as some Pokemon protect themselves, as Groudon does go for an Eruption here at 50%, or a bit over 50%. That should not pick up the K on Crobat. Crobat's actually a fairly bulky Pokemon, as he does successfully stall out that Tailwind.
He does, but Alberto's free to set it up again. Crobat is the fastest on the field, so he can certainly get a Tailwind up, and he taunted Yveltal to make sure it can't get a Tailwind up if it has it. So I really like Alberto's position, because look at all this damage he's doing to Zach's restricted Pokemon, and he's just using a Crobat and a Salamence, not even his own restricted.
Right, we do see Yveltal now go for a Sucker Punch. Gonna connect onto that Salamence, gonna be able to pick up the KO. Salamence finally gets knocked out after 2 games of just being on the field for such a long time. And we do see the Life Orb. Unfortunately, that is enough to pick up the KO on Yveltal. So that's a good trade for Alberto. I'd take that any day. As Crobat on Alberto's side, gonna go for a Tailwind, gonna boost the speed of Alberto's team. As Groudon goes for a Hidden Power here, gonna go to, what type Hidden Power is this? Ice type?
Probably Ice.
Ice type, and it does pick up the KO on Crobat. So it's gonna be Groudon, Kangaskhan, and Smeargle left for Zach versus 2 more Pokemon on Alberto's side. Probably the Xerneas.
Probably the Xerneas and the Groudon in Tailwind. So I really like Alberto's position here.
And we do see the Xerneas, and we do see the Groudon out for Alberto. Groudon's going to go ahead and Primal Revert once we see what Zach sends out. It's going to be the Kangaskhan. A little bit of Fake Out support, but Tailwind is so threatening.
Yeah, that Tailwind is really going to come in key here, because Kangaskhan, if he decides to Fake Out Groudon, which I think he has to, because faster Precipice Blades will simply knock out both of Zach's Pokemon. Now Xerneas is free to just Geomancy. It'll be faster than that Scarf Smeargle in the back. When Tailwind runs out, it'll be able to knock out both Groudon and Kangaskhan. So maybe if you're Zach, you just fake out the Xerneas and hope that maybe there's a Precipice Blades double miss or something.
And we do see Kangaskhan now go for the fake out. Gonna target down the Groudon. Safe call still, but I don't think that's what he needed exactly in this situation. As we see Xerneas go for a Geomancy here, and that's gonna be setting up for the end game.
Yep, there's not gonna be a whole lot Zach can do at this point.
As we do see Xerneas now get its boost. 2 stages of increased special attack, 2 stages of increased special defense, 2 stages of increased speed, and me saying that took longer than the animation did. As Groudon does flinch, and Groudon on Zach's side goes for an Earth Power here, gonna connect onto Alberto's Groudon, is gonna be enough to pick up the KO, and now it's gonna be Xerneas versus Kangaskhan and Groudon and Smeargle in the back.
Yeah, it's certainly nice that Zach is up 3-1, but he's in a really bad spot here, because a Dazzling Gleam will knock out Kangaskhan. It'll put Groudon into KO range along with the Smeargle that comes in next. But this Groudon is a special variant, and Xerneas is at full HP.
With 2 stages
of special defense. It's not going to be faster. Neither will the Scarf Smeargle. There's just, Zach is in almost no position to win this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a tough call.
This is the power of Xerneas, though.
Yeah.
And I think keeping Xerneas in the back is really good, too, from Alberto. We assumed that he had that in the back in the first game, too, and we saw, if it did come to it, it simply would have cleaned up. Having a Pokemon like Xerneas that's just able to come in when you want in the back rather than lead with it and put it at risk, it lets you get freer setups, I think.
Late game Geomancy is a very intimidating thing.
Yep.
We do see Groudon hang on after that Dazzling Gleam. Smeargle switched in, but unfortunately gets knocked out right away as Groudon goes for an Earth Power. Gonna have to rely on a critical hit right here and some. but ooh, that does absolutely 0 damage. Does get the special defense drop. Now it's only at 1 stage of increased special defense.
Yes, but it's also at almost full HP, and look at Zach's health. There's not too much he can do. The writing's on the wall here. But I think that shows the power of information this match. When he switched Kangaskhan out, I assume fearing a quick guard from Crobat. If he simply stayed in, this might have been a totally different match.
And we see Kangaskhan now go for a power-up punch onto his own Groudon. Luckily for him, it gets 2 hits, 2 stages of increased attack, but at the same time, Xerneas is going to outspeed and pick up the KO.
Yeah, even without a Tailwind, it's got double the speed thanks to Geomancy. Like a Sucker Punch, it resists it, so there's no way that takes it out.
A little bit of show for us, right?
Yeah, we saw Zach give a little chuckle there, so I think he knows the writing's on the wall here.
And we do see Kangaskhan go for a Sucker Punch now. It is essentially neutral, but bringing it down not even to 50%, as Xerneas now goes for a Dazzling Gleam, is going to be able to connect, is going to be able to pick up the KO, as Alberto Lara moves on to 6-0, and Zach Droegkamp falls to 5-1. Such an intense set between the two players. Alberto was in control.